Right, okay, here it is. So, you might not be aware of this, but I've seen this on quite a lot of YouTube channels. I've seen this Johnny Somali popping up. And basically, to summarize it for you, this is a American, I believe he's an American YouTuber, TikToker, who one is getting famous because he goes around, he acts like an idiot because he's an idiot. He does stupid pranks. He winds people up on purpose. He does things to piss people off on purpose. And he's just a nuisance to society. He just gets in people's way. He just causes problems for no reason. And he went to Korea. He went to South Korea, I think it is, and he's been stupidly disrespectful to lots of things over there. He's causing problems. He's trying to get people's backs up, and he's being a pain, and he's just being a nuisance. But South Korea have like really, really strict rules, and he's sort of peed everybody off to the point where he could be going to jail from anywhere between like a year to 10 years to 29 years, and it's getting really, really serious. So yeah, he's not going to be, if it all goes through, then it could be a learning lesson, because I'll be honest, the YouTubers that go around being idiots and pranking people and all those sort of things, I can't stand. And hopefully this will be the start of something that will stop these people doing these really annoying things. And just to get noticed and to get clicks. So we'll check it out.
And with the Korean people, I love Korea.
Just so you know, that golden statue is actually a memorial. There's lots of them around South Korea, and it's basically a memorial. I think it's a memorial to a war, but what he's doing is like incredibly disrespectful, and the South Koreans are like furious about it.
Johnny Somali rubs oil on his body and dances lewdly in front of Sonyeosang, otherwise known as Statue of Peace. He then kisses the
Johnny Somali has landed himself in serious trouble in South Korea, where he's now under arrest. The events leading up to his detention have sparked outrage, and it's easy to see why. He is
can't stand him. Yeah, he's the most annoying little... There's so many of these guys, and they're so incredibly annoying. I just wish they just disappear.
Everything you need to know. As soon as Johnny Somali arrived in South Korea, he began drawing attention for all the wrong reasons. His behavior quickly caught the public eye as he uploaded bizarre and highly disrespectful videos online. But the situation reached its boiling point when he targeted one of South Korea's most symbolic monuments, the Statue of Peace. The statue, a solemn tribute to victims of Japanese colonialism, holds deep historical and emotional significance for the country. In a shocking display, Somali decided to kiss the statue, and
that thing that we were just looking at a moment ago, where he's pouring that drink, he was in that. It's like a small shopping supermarket, and he was eating food. And he was getting the noodles out of the thing and just throwing them on the wall and pouring the drink on the floor and all these things. And it was like, really, I was cringing watching it, thinking, Jesus, why are you doing this, you weirdo? It's so disrespectful.
Perform exaggerated dances in front of it, recording everything for his followers. The disrespect didn't go unnoticed, and his actions caused widespread outrage. Many saw it as an insult not just to the monument, but to the history it represents.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, instead of stepping back after this backlash, Somali doubled down. When his initial video gained attention online,
he's been banned from Japan, yeah. So he went to Japan first before South Korea, and he did the same stuff in Japan, and they've banned him. He's not allowed into Japan now, and good, because I think Japan's been getting loads of these idiots going over and just basically using it as a backdrop to do the most stupid, annoying content possible. And I don't blame them for banning it.
Online, he seemed to view the controversy as an opportunity for more exposure. He returned to the same statue, this time engaging in behavior even more inappropriate, using oil to polish parts of the monument while making offhand comments that offended viewers further. This act crossed a line for many, who saw it as a complete disregard for the cultural and historical significance of the statue. Social media erupted as users began tagging South Korean authorities, urging them to take action.
I mean, if you did that to any monument in almost anywhere in the world, you'd tick the people off. I mean, it's a monument for for a particular reason. Can you imagine if somebody went from South Korea, went over and weed on Abraham Lincoln's statue or something like that? You know, the people would be outraged.
The backlash was swift and relentless, leaving Somali no room to evade accountability. Public outrage against Johnny Somali reached a boiling point as people demanded accountability for his actions. Many felt he needed to face justice, especially since similar controversies had followed him in Japan. His antics weren't new, and this time, the consequences were catching up with him. On October 24th, tensions escalated when Somali was confronted by locals. Frustrated by his behavior, a group attacked him, leaving him shaken. While some might say he brought this upon himself, the incident highlighted how fed up the community had become with his repeated disrespect. But it didn't end there. Just 3 days later, on October 27th, Somali faced another physical confrontation from locals. This time, the altercation reportedly left him injured. The growing hostility showed that Somali's actions had pushed people to their limit, and his situation was spiraling out.
Yeah, I remember that, where people were going up and trying to start fights with each other, with random guys, and then when the guy was actually going to beat the crap out of them and fight back, they're going, "Oh, it's only a video, it's only a hoax." Yeah, I remember those. It's basically the same sort of stuff for that. It's, you know, when there's a new fad on TikTok or social media where it gets really high views, then everybody copies it, and then we have to go through this constant thing of a new fad cycle. Everyone does it, then that gets boring and people get sick of it, so then it goes on to another new fad, and the fads need to stop. These things that go towards, because it's antisocial behavior, it should just be outright stopped.
Out of control. Then, the stakes rose even higher. A well-known Korean YouTuber entered the scene, upping the intensity of the manhunt. The YouTuber offered a reward of 2 million won, approximately $2,000, to anyone who could provide information about Somali's whereabouts. At this point, rumors suggested Somali might have been hiding in a hospital, but his troubles were far from over. Soon, the police began receiving reports linking Somali to alleged drug use. These allegations gave authorities the opportunity they needed to take action. They launched an investigation into his activities, deepening Somali's legal predicament. If the drug allegations are proven true, Somali could face over 10 years in prison under South Korea.
South Korea have up to a 98% conviction rate. Yeah. I know once you get to the point where there's going to be a conviction, it's basically, that's it, you're getting convicted. It's sort of like, you know, you go through all the process, and then it's like, look, at the end of that process, are we going to convict this person? And if they say yes, that's basically it. You're done. You're not getting out of it. So I didn't realize it was 98% conviction rating. So yeah, if it does go to a thing, then he is absolutely going to jail. And I hope so. And hopefully it's a lesson to other people to stop doing it.
Korean law. Even if he avoids jail time, he may still be required to pay a hefty fine of $95,000. And with the seriousness of the case, it seems unlikely that South Korean authorities will let him off with just a fine. To make matters worse for Somali, he's been officially banned from leaving South Korea. This means he'll remain in the country until every aspect of this case is resolved.
So he could be there for a very long time. And let's be honest, this guy clearly has such a low IQ. I think we all know that if he is going to be there for, say it's a year that he has to stay in South Korea because he can't leave, if he's stuck there for a year, he will then just keep on doing these monumentally stupid things to the point where they build up such a big case. He'll be there for like the rest of his life. And you know what? I could live with that. I don't think I'd be upset by that being an outcome.
A daunting prospect,
You hope it
given the
happens.
mounting
Yeah.
evidence and public outrage against him. It's not hard to imagine just how angry the South Korean authorities must be with Johnny Somali. His actions went beyond disrespect. They targeted deeply cherished symbols of the country's history and culture in the most inappropriate way possible. To make matters worse, Somali was trying to profit from this chaos by turning his antics into viral content.
You wouldn't stand for it. No. Well, it's not on. And I don't understand the mentality of other YouTubers or TikTokers or these other people that go around thinking that this is okay and acceptable. You wouldn't do this. Well, this idiot might do it in his home garden, but I would never think to go to another country, someone else's country, and then openly disrespect their customs and that sort of thing. If anything, I'd actually try and find if there's anything I need to do to not upset the locals, because I am a guest in their country, and as a guest, you should conduct yourself in a certain way. But yeah, I honestly, I hope this guy gets done for it. I hope he goes away for a long time.
This isn't Somali's first time stirring up trouble. He has faced legal consequence in Japan for similar behavior, and many say he managed to tarnish their experiences of Japan with his reckless stunts. However, South Korea is proving to be far less tolerant. Somali is now effectively trapped in the country, facing not only the wrath of authorities, but also widespread public outrage. Adding to his troubles, reports suggest that Somali might not even be safe in prison. Many South Koreans, deeply offended by how he insulted their cultural icons, are unlikely to forget his actions. Some speculate that other prisoners, fully aware of what he's done, could make his time behind bars far from easy.
Yeah, there's like South Korean people in USA in the USA come out and said, look, basically, if you come back to USA, you're dead. We're gonna get you and we're gonna kill you. There's a South Korean mafia apparently in the USA that have also threatened him. So this guy's got a lot of eyes after him now, and a lot of people are wanting to do him harm. And I can't blame them.
A Reddit user weighed in on the situation, stating, I don't think it's that bad in general, but it won't be nice for Johnny Somali, aka Ramzi Khalid Ismail, because of his ethnicity and because other prisoners will know what he has done. This makes Somali's chances of leaving the country safely seem slim, but few people feel sympathy for him. After all, he repeatedly ignored the consequences of his actions and showed no willingness to change. This isn't just about one video. Somali has a history of causing public disturbances.
He made a public apology to the people of South Korea while he was there, and then just carried on doing it.
Last year, he created chaos on a subway, leading to his removal. Not stopping there, he caused a scene in a convenience store, disrupting everyone around him. His behavior wasn't just an annoyance, it made people's lives unnecessarily difficult, all in the name of chasing clout. Now it seems that Somali's pattern of behavior has finally caught up with him, and with no way out of South Korea, he's facing the fallout of his actions in a country that takes such offenses seriously. When Johnny Somali was finally confronted and beaten up, public reactions were surprisingly unsympathetic. Many people felt it was long overdue, hoping the incident would teach him a lesson about respecting others and not messing with the wrong crowd. Under the video of the altercation, commenters didn't hold back their opinions. One person wrote, "He deserved it. He's been acting like a complete idiot. They should throw him out of Korea." Another took a more humorous approach, saying, "Every time they attack him, it's just one wimpy punch and a shove. Come on, where's the real action?" Even advice poured in for those standing up to him. One user urged, "Come on, my Korean brothers, be smarter about this. Wait until you're away from the police station, then make it count." As discussions around Somali heated up, an unexpected revelation emerged. A user pointed out, "BTW, he's Ethiopian Jew, not Somali, so stop calling him Somali." This comment caught many people off guard, as Somali's chosen moniker had led most to assume he was from Somalia. Intrigued, some began investigating further, and what they discovered only fueled the outrage. One comment exposed a darker side of his persona. He's not Somali at all. He admitted he chose the name because it would make going viral easier, and because he hates Somalis. He thought it would be funny.
Oh, he hates some people from Somalia. I know that he's meant to be quite a racist individual. So, but surely you could pick another name other than Somali or Somalia if you wanted a viral name.
If they got blamed for his antics. This revelation painted an even more troubling picture of Somali's character. He wasn't just disrespectful. His actions were rooted in deliberate hatefulness. Reports suggest that his behavior has been so offensive that he might face legal trouble if he ever sets foot in Somalia. Somali's reputation is now synonymous.
Oh my god. So, he's not been to Somalia, but he's so notorious and he's made such a bad name for himself, he might not even be allowed into the country, and he's never been. Wow. I think that's the first time I've heard of that. The only time I've heard that someone being blocked from a country before was the Top Gear crew, and they got banned from a country. But I've never heard someone else achieving that. God.
Synonymous with chaos and narcissism. Many see him as someone who thrives on creating disorder, pushing boundaries in different countries just to garner attention. His pattern seems clear.
Yeah,
Stir
but he's
up
got
trouble,
ADHD.
get arrested, and eventually get deported, all in the
he's a
name
moron.
of staying relevant. With each incident, his actions appear
But
to
get what
cement his
you're saying,
image
yeah.
as someone who not only disrespects cultures, but deliberately goes out of his way to provoke outrage. This time, however, the backlash has been swift, leaving Somali in a precarious situation he might not be able to escape.
At what point was causing outrage a trendable thing to cause people to go out and specifically do that just to get the reactions? I mean,
Johnny Somali seems to be banking on his online followers to rally behind him, but this time, it's clear the public has had enough. Comments supporting him are almost non-existent, and the overwhelming sentiment is one of frustration and disdain. Somali has managed to offend multiple countries, anger millions of people, and still find ways to post his antics online. His behavior has pushed boundaries in ways few thought possible. One user, however, raised an interesting point about locking him up. Usually, people just deport foreigners who cause trouble. What's the point of keeping someone like him in a Korean prison? It costs taxpayers money, and deporting him would be too easy. He wouldn't learn anything from it. This perspective resonated with others, especially given Somali's track record. Japan, for example, let him off the hook relatively easily after his previous stunts. Many believe this leniency emboldened him to repeat the same kind of disruptive behavior in South Korea. His actions haven't just been disrespectful. They've crossed into dangerous territory by blatantly insulting cultural monuments and using these moments to gain viral attention.
what he's doing.
Another user pointed out the
Like you saw there, he was just getting the food, just tipping it out and chucking it all around the place. I mean, I can't imagine that is so disrespectful to do that.
logic behind South Korea's current approach. I mean, they consider him a flight risk, which is why he's not allowed to leave. They're going to prosecute him fully, and if found guilty, he'll have to serve time. Only after that will they likely deport him and ban him from ever returning.
Yeah.
This shows how seriously the South Korean authorities are treating the case, ensuring he doesn't escape accountability. At this point, Somali's chances of leaving the country seem slim. Even if an embassy intervenes on his
What did that
behalf,
say?
his reputation is taking a massive hit. The backlash he would face in the US is likely to be escape accountability. At this point,
Booty Scratcher Mum, $3. Since you are eating ramen with hot water, why don't you pour the hot water down your pants to kill your sperm cells? It's cheaper than a vasectomy. Your father was right to say you should never have kids. Your father is right to say your father was right. That's what he said.
Somali's chances of leaving the country seem slim. Even if an embassy intervenes on his behalf, his reputation is taking a massive hit. The backlash he would face in the US is likely to be severe, given his history of causing chaos in multiple countries. It's becoming increasingly clear that Johnny Somali's behavior has spiraled out of control. What started as a desperate grab for online attention has snowballed into a series of legal and social consequences that might be impossible to evade. The question now isn't whether he'll face punishment, but how severe it will be, and whether it will finally put an end to his reckless antics. A user recently posted videos showing Johnny Somali provoking South Koreans and eventually facing the consequences. The caption read, "Too satisfying not to share. A nuisance influencer named Johnny Somali is going around cursing, antagonizing, and disrespecting citizens and culture. I have a feeling his days there are short." That user wasn't wrong. Somali's days in South Korea appear to be numbered. At this point, it's a matter of whether he's deported soon or ends up in prison, where he's unlikely to find any sympathy. From his fellow inmates to the officers, the hostility he stirred up ensures his stay won't be pleasant. The public frustration with Somali has reached such...
Absolutely. No, seriously, I would actually prefer the fact that he does end up in prison, because that will send a shockwave through the arena of what he does. So hopefully other idiots that do the same sort of thing will stop doing it as well.
Such a level that many feel deportation would be too lenient. One commenter shared their thoughts saying, "I'm against violence, but I wouldn't step in to help him, nor would I pour water on him if he was on fire. Individuals who act like this have to learn the hard way." This sentiment reflects how deeply Somali's actions have angered people. His disrespect for cultural norms, his blatant provocations, and his constant push for attention have alienated him to the point where sympathy is non-existent. For many, Somali...
I mean, to be honest, he's just got that kind of face you just want to punch. I absolutely cannot stand this guy. He's like that young kid, I can't remember his name. That's like a multi-millionaire and like just the most annoying little git ever.
Somali has crossed too many lines to deserve an easy way out. Given his history of offenses and the legal trouble he's now facing, it's hard to imagine Somali making it out of the country without significant consequences. Even if he does manage to leave South Korea, his reputation as a serial provocateur will likely follow him wherever he goes, limiting his opportunities and exposing him to further backlash. So, what do you think?
I just can't stand the guy. Like I said, you may have heard about this. If you have, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Is it right what he's doing, going around causing problems and being disrespectful to other cultures? Is it something you do? Let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys in chat think. So, yeah.